So this is the first of many, hopefully, no bullshit Q&As, where I take in questions that I feel like I can answer. I don't deliver any bullshit, and I just try and help people out with straightforward, positive, hopefully, advice, even if I have to be brutal sometimes. I've had 8 years coaching experience, online, offline. I worked in a group training facility with normal people, I guess, rehab work, metcon work, mobility. So I've got quite a varied level of experience. I've done it for a long time, so I feel I can answer some things. But I've got 5 questions anyway. No bullshit when I answer these. These are straight from me, my own personal anecdotal experience, or studies that I've read, or things that I've heard that I believe are true. None of this is just me making stuff up. Getting back into training and building muscle fast. That's the first question. So first thing I would say, you can't build muscle fast. This is something you need to remember. Fat loss takes weeks, muscle takes years. Now if you keep that on the forefront of your mind, it will always be there, because you can lose, most people, depending on what position they're in, can get lean within 15 to 20 weeks, okay, most people. And even if they're not particularly gonna get lean at the end, most people can make substantial changes to what they look like from a body fat perspective in that time period. Muscle, however, you cannot just build, sadly. I wish you could. It's not quick. Even if you're doing everything right, you are looking at grams per week. Do you know what I mean? Now, because of that, to answer your question, what I would say, if you're getting back into the gym and you want to build muscle fast, you need to just be making sure you do things right and doing things right for a long time. So if now I would say you're not on a program, that is a big problem. If you're not in control of your nutrition, that is a big problem. If you're not following them 2 things, you probably can technically build muscle fast, because the progress that you're going to get from doing things right is infinitely better than the progress you're going to get if you're doing things wrong, like, for example, not following a program or not controlling your food. So what you need to be doing first and foremost is getting on a program, even if you make it yourself after researching on the internet, you know, some different variables you want to be including in your training. I'm a big proponent, as people know, of progressively overloading specific compound lifts. That is something I'll go into in another video. And then obviously also making sure that your diet is supplementing your training, and you are focusing on that the most you can be, because if you do those 2 things, muscle just comes. But it takes a long time. I've trained for 8 years. I'm not even close to being done in my bodybuilding journey. It is the sport for the patient. So fast isn't really a word you ever want to be using in bodybuilding questions. Second, is Tren a miracle drug? Trenbolone. I've used it, so I can speak about it. Again, I'm picking apart the question a little bit. There is no miracles in bodybuilding. A miracle would suggest you are kind of getting something for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like muscle comes for free. That isn't the case in bodybuilding, because even if that happened, you've got to be sure, even with Trenbolone, for example, I'll use it as an example, you're paying a price. And that's what you've got to remember with anabolics. You're paying a price. Nothing's coming for free. If you go and do Trenbolone, for example, and this won't happen, but I'll say it, and build 15 or 20 pounds of muscle, that's not for free. That is coming at the cost of your body. It's coming at the cost of your health. Remember that at all times. There is no miracles. Miracles are free. Nothing is free in life, from what I'm aware anyway, especially when it comes to anabolics. It's not free. What I would say about Trenbolone is it's massively overused and overrated, in my opinion. I mean, I've used it, it's great, but what people have got to remember is, and this is a big issue I see all the time, how I've always thought is, if I have an issue with my physique, I want to build a specific part of it, or I want to grow, or I need to lose a bit of body fat, I never look at drugs as the answer. I look at the training elements. How can I improve my training? Who can I learn from? Who's the next mentor? What can I read? What diet element can I change? That is my thought process first. It always has been. And some people consider it the wrong mindset, but some people's mindset is up this, up that, add this in, this will do that. You can't be like that, guys. Tren is great, but you need to be a competitive bodybuilder, or at least making money from this sport before you try it, only because it's not researched. Simple as that. I can't give this advice out. I'm not a doctor. I don't think doctors can either. It's not researched. There's no studies. There's no long-term studies especially. It's all anecdotal. What I will say is that when you're doing things like this, make sure that, you know, you're not falling into the trap of thinking it is a miracle, because I think we can all say this, and I can say this hand on my heart. I know people that have been on Trenbolone and everything else 3 times more than I've ever even considered using, and they can't break past 12 stone. I don't even know what that is in kilos. 12 stone, I think that's 160 pounds. I know people like that, and I promise you, and it wasn't fake. So there's no miracles in bodybuilding either. Sorry to break your heart there, man. My favourite pro, that's a tough one. I'm a big fan of Flex Lewis. Everybody knows me, I'm a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but my favourite pro, if I was really to give someone a good push, it would be Rafael Brandao. If you don't know him, please look at him. I'm just such a fan of his physique. I think that he will be coming back. Sorry, he will be bringing back the lines that we all want to see in bodybuilding. And I might be speaking for myself, but I just think the physique he's bringing, he can add more to it, but they're the lines we want to see on the Olympia stage, in my opinion, of course. I am not a big fan of bloated out guts. It's just, for me, it's alien. Like, I don't see why, as a bodybuilder, like when people even get into the gym, when I first got into the gym, abs are everything. Like, that's what you look at when you look at somebody. Wow, he's got abs, that's cool. For someone to have a blown out pregnant belly, it's not great. I'm not offending anybody. I'm not trying to bring anyone down, but it's not nice. It's not a good look. Rafael is got mass, he's got the waist, he's got very good shape. He's my favorite pro because I would love to see him get on the Olympia stage and do some damage, and just really, obviously everyone says he looks too small next to the big guys, and that might be true, but at the same time their bellies look huge compared to his, and I think if he starts playing that to his advantage, and people, as they already are now with Classic, start wanting that look more, he could find himself an opening. Best movement for chest. This is a tough one. My personal favourite is incline movements, but what I will say for the question's sake is dips. I think dips are forgotten. I think people just seem to think that they're a tricep exercise, which I think is lunacy. Dips are amazing. They hit the full body in terms of triceps, front delt, chest. What they also add, a lot of other movements don't, is a forced stretch. Although incline can do it to an extent, a lot of people don't do it, but dips, as you drop into the movement, your chest will completely open up. And if anybody knows anything about muscle growth, one of the key components, in my opinion, and this is what a lot of people think as well, is taking a muscle from its fullest range to its shortest, and that can be achieved a lot of the time by making sure that the movement's complete, and just dips force you to do it. I think loading up dips is an incredible thing you can add to your training. A lot of people don't do it. A good point I'll make about dips is they remove the need for flat pressing, and they remove the need for decline pressing. I think decline pressing is an absolute waste of life. A dip is the exact same. If you think about the fundamentals of the movement, it's the exact same, but better. I think bodyweight lifts, this is kind of me on a tangent, but I think bodyweight lifts are being lost. And I think they do things a lot of people don't value them for. I think if you can't do chin-ups as a bodybuilder, or you can't do dips, I don't really see why you're, obviously this is offensive, but I don't see why you're a bodybuilder, because you should be able to do those movements. Your body should be constituted of enough muscle and not enough fat to make sure that you can do these bodyweight lifts. And I think it gives your physique a good standing. I just think you'll never see anybody that can do chins with great weights on, or dips with great weights on, that hasn't got a really well balanced, sick physique. Do you know what I mean? And the way you look at it, if you say dips aren't the best chest mover, go look at bar stars on YouTube. Those guys out there, that's the only chest movement they actually have, that and push-ups, and their chests are a lot of the time are massively overdeveloped and popping. I'm a big fan. Tracking macros or specific diets, this is my last question. So this is a tough one because it's totally person dependent. Macros became really popular 2012, 2013. I competed on macros at one point. It's great, but they do have drawbacks. And then specific diets have always been popular, but again, they're great, they have drawbacks. I would say it depends on what type of person you are. There is people out there that would say everybody needs to do macros, and I would say they're wrong. And there's people out there that say, you know, there's nothing better than an old school diet plan because macros don't work. Now, macros definitely work. It's 100% fact. We've proven that now. They do work. That's how most diets are formulated. So if someone gives you a diet plan, your coach gives you a diet plan or something like that, they've used macros to develop that diet plan. So they do work. They definitely do. But they do have drawbacks. You know, a lot of the time people choose subpar quality foods. They choose to have strange meals in their diet that wouldn't particularly make sense for performance reasons. Here's an example, like, okay, it's 11 in the day, you're training at 1, your pre-workout meal is going to be, I can't even think, man, a bowl of cereal and a protein shake. Like, you're not thinking whatsoever about the quality of those nutrients for your performance in the gym. I know this is what happened to me with macros. I was just eating things to fit boxes, and then I would train and feel like shit. Not good. But then obviously, like I said about specific diets, the issues with them are people have no flexibility and then can't really stick with the diet the whole time. So what I would say, and this is what I'm here for, to give answers, Bodybuilders, competitors, people that have specific deadlines, specific diets are good. They keep your mindset straight. They make sure that you know you're in a working state. You're also able to manage nutrition in a way that you can't a lot of the time with macros. You know, you're going to have meal timings that just fit better to your day, your energy level, your job, the way you perform in the gym. That's important, and you can displace food a lot easier that way. If you are a casual kind of someone that just wants to lose body fat and do this for the long haul, macros are going to be the ideal choice for you to learn and get yourself educated about, because they're going to allow you to go to social events. They're going to allow you to manage your diet in a way that doesn't affect your relationships. So yeah, I'd say yeah, bodybuilders, hardcore trainers, you do want to have some sort of specific plan in place, and people that are kind of a little more casual, don't really want to kill themselves, just have a bit more muscle, then macros are going to be a great option for you. Guys, I hope this video was useful. It was quick, it was snappy. I just want to get some really good answers out there, no bullshit, put them on the internet for you and do it again. I've got a ton of questions that I still have. I mean, I had over 70 and I just picked a few good ones, and there'll probably be a few more after this video. So I hope this helped. Please comment below if you have a question for me, or if you disagreed with me. I like that, you know, I love a bit of a debate. And subscribe if you like the advice, guys. Thank you.